Hey, I'm Damien Saint, and check out the 3 Count podcast.
I'm in fashion, roll coat.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring, and I'm your host Clifford Red Dog Miller. That's right, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. That's right, and by this 80th something episode, you should be calling me your Sherpa. But like every good Sherpa, you gotta have somebody who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. And that's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. And today you can find this man at GLWA, EHF, Chicagoland, Revolution, Rocket, Wrestle League, Pro Wrestling Resurrected, and Pinfall Wrestling. He is the Angel of Anarchy himself, Damien Saint.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, I appreciate that. But real man, this is awesome. I'm excited to get to chat with you. Full transparency for those who are wondering, I put up a post on Facebook and I was like, "Yo, can I get some names?" And your name consistently popped up on my list, and I was like, "Okay, well, hey, let's go grab Damien."
Well, I appreciate those people.
Yeah, shout outs. But yeah, so you're out of Illinois, man. It's a place that I've always wanted to go out and just work in. But there's a lot of great hidden talent that people haven't seen yet. I just can't wait for Chicago to, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but I can't wait for Chicago to explode with all the talent that they have in the area.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the one thing I love about Chicago itself is it's one of the biggest wrestling cities you'll ever be to. And with that being said, with the places I've worked around Chicagoland, the talent has been phenomenal. There's so many people who I've seen around the area, especially in the areas I work of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. Those places, for all the talent I've seen one get signed by Impact at the Impact Gut Check. That was Jason Hotch.
Mm.
So my buddies were also there, Zodiac. But it's amazing people who it's only a matter of time until they get signed. It's only a matter of time until someone picks them up and sees the true potential that they have.
Yeah, it's a lot in the acting world, right? Like Los Angeles, New York, they always say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I feel like Pittsburgh and Chicago are those two wrestling hubs that if you're there in Orlando, right? Because obviously with NXT down there,
Yeah.
but those two, those three cities, man, if you make it in those three places, the world's about to be your oyster.
Oh, absolutely. It's phenomenal. Just the talent and especially the fans. I love the fans out here. It's fans that you'll never see anywhere else. And for those who don't understand what I mean, Chicago is loud. Chicago is rowdy. Rowdy. Do you mind if I curse?
No, you're fine to curse.
Cool. Chicago is a place where we will tell John Cena to go fuck yourself on live television.
Yeah.
That's Chicago. We will go for whoever we want, whoever is meanest, whoever is most entertaining, and we will let you know what we think of the product.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those places.
If you can survive in that environment and thrive off of it, you're going places.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just showing just money in the bank, right? CM Punk and Cena, and they let Cena know you are not, you aren't winning. You're not leaving alive out of Chicago.
No, we let him know. I was there that night. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to, and the crowd, oh my god, it was just phenomenal. It was just energetic.
Yeah, and then CM Punk winning that match and then just fading off into the crowd. And it was so cool because you could see the crowd part, but it just looked like they engulfed him. And it was a big shout out to the Second City Savior for that, because that was a moment that most people will never forget. But for those who don't know who you are, can you please let the fans know who is Damien Saint?
So Damien Saint is the Angel of Anarchy. Damien Saint is the Windy City Angel. Damien Saint is the architect of war and chaos. And Damien Saint likes to see people in pain. So I hire big, strong, aggressive people who beat up other people in the ring and win titles for me. That's who Damien Saint is.
I like it. I like it a lot. So it's cool though because like looking over your biography, man, it's just like wrestler, ref, manager, like you just have like your hand in a lot of different pots, so you get to see like a lot of different aspects of like how wrestling is supposed to look based on like how like a perceived junction of like what one person would want to be like. So I'm kind of curious, like in the field that you're in with all three kind of different aspects, which one is like your favorite to like watch kind of like bend and mold?
Um, Honestly, more of managing. I'll admit, I never was an in-ring performer as a wrestler. It's always been manager and referee, and that's just because I'm very protective of my back. After the army, I spent 4 years in the army in infantry, and that messed up my back with arthritis and mild degenerative disc disease. So I'm very protective. So I've never been an in-ring performer per se, unless it's like a gimmick match. But aside from that, between refing and managing, I love managing. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy refing because when you have a great match going on in the ring, all I know is what the end result of the match is. That's all I get told. That's all I even ask for. And so when I get to be out there for the match, crowd is watching the match for the first time. I'm watching the match for the first time, having no idea what's going on. It's like being a fan in the ring. I just have to be really quick and count the 1, 2, 3. But with managing, I grew up doing theater, so I've always been big about being in front of a crowd. You know, if you ever met me outside of work or outside of wrestling, I am probably one of the most introverted people you will ever meet. To where the moment I am off work, in my mindset, I am already retired and I'm going home and I'm not talking to anybody unless I have to. But
No, I was like, it's something about like, it's weird because it's something about people who are in the military, right? Because prior Air Force, right here, 6 years. Um, it's crazy to think that like you spend so much energy like having to be extroverted, right? That when you get out, you want to like pull into that shell and then hide just for a little bit, right? It's not like you're trying to like pull away. You just need that break for a little bit, and then you thrust yourself into the wrestling world, and like you become this extroverted, but then you get to be like somebody completely different. Like my character is like very outgoing, very like cocky, just 100% of the things that I'm not. Like the things that I wish that I could be, my character is. And then like when when I'm out behind a curtain and I've like turned off like the character, this is who you get. Like very kind of just reserved, just like how have fun and talk with you and stuff like that. But it's something about the military that allows us to like compartmentalize. Is that the right word? Like you can just section off
yeah,
everything, and you can just kind of work when you have to work. So it's kind of cool to hear that you're like, yeah, I'm prior army. I'm like, yo, I can relate to this as all day.
no, definitely. But for me, one of the big things with managing is just it's not so much I am a whole different character because Damien Saint is very much who I am. Just probably turn up to like 10,000. Because for me, I came out of kind of like a dysfunctional family. I'm the youngest of 9, but I was raised as the only child. So I was able to learn what my sisters and brothers did, but they weren't there to catch me. With anything my siblings did, I found any way around what they had done. Everything that my parents had known of my mom and my stepdad, what they dealt with from their kids before me, the moment anyone told me, I slid on the radar.
I like it though. I like it a lot. And it is something like my character, like even my character, like even though like he's very outgoing and cocky. It really and you hit it right on the head. It's you turned up to like 10,000. Like you're just out the charts and out of your mind.
Like one of the best things, just I love being a good guy. I do. I'm probably one of the few people who you'll see as a manager who will be a good guy, and I feel like I can strive with that. But when it comes to being a heel, I don't know. It's just something about just making the crowd so pissed off and just getting that heat for whoever I'm with, and it's just so much fun. It's like being alive all over again. I know it's kind of a weird way to say it, but it's like my mind is almost reborn. It's clear. Like I have depression. I deal with a little bit of anxiety. I mean, everybody does, but still. Um, I I'm getting myself lost. oh,
No, but you're right. So it's an
oh,
aspect.
ADHD, ADHD. That's the other thing I deal with, as we just saw right now. My mind goes nonstop, and I don't tell people this very often, but when everything is quiet, I deal with tinnitus as it is. But half the time, either I hear ringing, or the other half the time, because of the ADHD, I have a song stuck in my head, and it's like one verse and half the chorus, and this repeats over and over. Like my mind has no peace and quiet at all until I'm asleep. And it used to be maddening, but I've adapted it so well. But the moment I get to go outside the curtain, and I know I'm entertaining these people, I know I'm getting their minds off whatever problems they're dealing with. I know I'm maybe helping them with something that they've been hurting from, something that they can relate to, and it just it clears my mind. It's a pure moment of clarity, just being in front of the crowd, and with being a manager and being on a microphone and just be able to say what I want in the way I need to. That is professional yet entertaining for the fans. It's it's such a peace of mind that it's probably one of the most relaxing things I could ever do. Which is weird being in front of, a couple hundred people and everything else in your life, you're kind of like, oh, well, I'm a little bit stressed out. I'm going this, I'm going that. My mind's over here. But the moment I'm there in the ring with a microphone in my hand and I have the fans' attention, it's just peace and quiet and the mouth just runs.
It's funny though, man, because like I feel like when I was in the military, like that was one thing that like constantly kept me striving. Right, was that like when I knew like I was attached to a mission or something like that, and it was like of utmost importance, like my mind just stayed like laser focused like on the mission at hand. But then like when I got out, like I was missing like a lot of like what I really kind of wanted, and it was like a lot of the camaraderie part of it, but I was also missing like that mission that kept me like on point. And I feel like when I get into the crowd, right, when I'm there in a wrestling ring or something, like and I'm there just to entertain, like my mind gets laser focused because it's that's the goal, that's the mission at hand, is that you're a part of something kind of bigger than what you are, like when I was like when I was in the service. But and there I'm just it's there for entertainment purpose, like I'm just there to like make the crowd feel like they're like the best thing in the entire world. Which, by the way, you guys are. Okay, no
You
lies.
are.
It's
I will
just,
admit that. I tell you all you're adopted most of the time, but you guys are kind of cool.
but it is so cool to be part of something that makes you laser focused and driven because you understand that the guys in the back are on the same page as you are. It's just to put on the best show and to entertain. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people sometimes we just kind of miss that point. It's like almost like you think you're expected to have the crowd to be in your back pocket, but if you kind of treat them like they're like second class, they will treat you like you're second class, and you'll really know what it means to be exiled.
Yeah.
But
I've
so I
had a
have
couple
one
times where
question.
I've actually been like booed out of the building, and I don't know why. It's just so much fun.
It is. Oh no, I've seen people like break beer bottles and try to fight some of my friends because they're bad guys. They're so good at getting heat. I watched uh I watched one of my friends tell a lady right to her face, like, it will be nothing for me to smack a white woman in the face. And she got so mad, she went to the promoter. She's like, I want my money back, or he never, I will stay for the rest of the show if that guy never comes back to the show. And then she came back, and so did he.
Uh,
So I was like, tough breaks here. Sorry, Karen. You didn't get that job done.
it is what it is.
It is. So I'm kind of curious, man. Like after a show or something like that, do you have like a routine? Do you have a post match snack? Like what's your vice?
Uh, so the vice for me usually is on the way home. If I'm hungry, and usually I am, after like a good long drive, I either hit up McDonald's or White Castle. Because in the town I live in, most of the time when I'm getting home from a show, it's already past 11 and everything pretty much is closed by then. and half the time I'm usually home by midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And McDonald's and White Castle are the only places that I will find open. And then it's just deciding which one has a shorter line because for some reason at 2 o'clock in the morning, both McDonald's and White Castle want to have lines around the whole damn building, which I don't understand. They need to get the fuck out of my way.
It is weird to like be driving home and I'm like, oh look, it's a random pit stop, and I'll like go to pull in to like order like Taco Bell or something, and there's like 4 cars in a line. I'm like, why are you guys here? Like it's almost midnight. Just go home. Just go home. Like, hang out over there. Don't drive to the drive-through. Doesn't make sense to
Go home
me.
and cook your own damn food. That's why you have a kitchen. Get out of my
You
way.
guys probably live down the street anyway.
I work 2 jobs. You don't. Get a second job.
Get out of here. So you've been in for a while. I'm just kind of curious. What's like one of the hardest lessons that you've had to learn?
One of the hardest things I think I've had to learn is just being humble itself, because every once in a while my mind will get the best of me and my emotions will get the best of me, and I have no problem admitting every once in a while when I'm in a really good position with a promotion, I kind of get a big head, and over time I've learned I need to be a little more humble with that, and that's actually helped me out a lot more. But that was probably one of the hardest things ever, was just accepting everything that was going on in the world and how it is with promoters and just the work itself.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes like everybody gets into that area where they just start to feel like, hey, like I'm untouchable.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, like, there's
Again, it goes back to like the military mindset of you're part of the machine.
yeah, it's
And
just like
I
your
think that's one
cog
of the
can
best things
always be
that's helped me is
replaced.
just remembering that.
It's tough too because like it's like we're saying like in this business, right, in this sport, in this performance, whatever you want to call it, uh you are one of thousands of people that are working for all the same spots. And if you decide at one moment you're like, I'm better than the rest of this, they will just take your cog piece out and just put a new one in and just let
Absolutely.
that person work. It is tough. Like one of my favorite things too is like when I get to a show, I try to show up early if I can, unless like I know that the crew like went and set up the ring the night before. I try to pop in and try to help out with the ring, or if someone's there and I can just like set up chairs and stuff like that. It's weird because it feels like game day for me, where like I'll sit there and I'll put all my stuff together and it just puts me in the mindset. But then afterwards, I love to stay and help out, tear down rings and like put them away and stuff. Like I'm always trying to constantly pay my dues because I do see the value that other people, like other promoters, see in it too. So it's like it's it you know be humble about it and do the work.
Right. No, I absolutely feel that.
So I'm curious. I need to ask this question though. Like, what kind of advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
Um, to any up and coming wrestlers, referees, managers, whatever role, commentary, the first thing I learned was ears open, mouth shut. And of course, when you first hear that, you kind of understand what it means of shut up and listen. But it truly means so much more. The biggest thing anyone can do, and I feel like to make it well in this business, is to understand the psychology of professional wrestling, understand the psychology of storytelling. And I feel like there's so many who miss that still, who have so much potential. But if you can start to understand why certain moves go in certain areas, how to build your character, how to sell your character, especially. The fans, yeah, they want to see the moves, they want to see the wrestling, but they're there, they pay money to see you perform, not just as a wrestler, but as a character itself. People have to understand it's still a show, it's entertainment, it's sports entertainment. Some people hate that term. I don't give a fuck because one, wrestling is a sport, and two, it's a fucking entertainment industry. But that being said, psychology is the biggest thing you could learn. The moment you understand the psychology of professional wrestling and of a character and storytelling, and I know it sounds like a lot, and it actually is, everything will click of why you do everything, and everything will click of how to engage the fans and know that you will keep them entertained.
No, it's great advice, and it's funny because you mentioned the word right that it's entertainment at the end of the day, right? So we're still learning how to take fans on like a giant roller coaster and just like let them enjoy the ride, but it's still entertainment. And I tell my friends this often. I was like, I don't like pro wrestling is the only place where I see like fans are actively like a character in the show, right? And some people are in all the way and some people aren't. But what makes it more like enjoyable for me is I don't ever think I've seen a person boo Lin Manuel Miranda on stage doing Hamilton because he wasn't Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? Like, but wrestling fans will let you know, like, hey, like they're like, you suck. Like, this is not believable. But I was like, I didn't see you say that to Hamilton when his rap music came out.
There wasn't rap back then. This is a lie.
This isn't real. This is predetermined.
These are shenanigans.
Wasn't that character just like the captain in the other act? I don't believe that's his son. Like, yeah,
They look like they're only 5 years apart. I call bullshit.
I call bullshit on this. This isn't realistic at all. This is unbelievable.
I want my money back. I'm Karen.
But yo, so seeing that you've been in a lot of different areas with a lot of different locker rooms, I gotta have one do and one don't of the locker room.
Okay. One don't of the locker room. Don't come in the locker room with an attitude. Because the moment you show off that attitude, anybody, especially a veteran or someone who's more of a vet than you are, if they're a good vet, they're going to put you back in your place. One thing to do, have fun. Be a good person. Help each other.
Yeah, definitely, because you got to remember like why you got into this in the first place is because you loved it. You were having fun as a kid, and I definitely agree. I love that, and I love the fact of don't have an attitude because I feel like lately I've ran into a bunch of people who have had that, and I'm just like, whoa, you need to like
Tone it
throttle
down.
down the gear, too wound up there. But cool. So those are like all my heavy hitting questions, but we do got to get into the second best segment of the 3 Count podcast. And people ask, what's the first? It's the Red Dogs Power Rankings that you can find every Sunday on our debate show. But this, sir, Mr. Damien Saint, this is the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions, and this is how it works. I'm gonna fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast. Whatever's your answer, that's your answer.
Sure, go ahead, put me on the spot.
So let's put the imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw.
Favorite movie?
The Labyrinth.
Yes. Sonic or Mario?
Sonic.
Favorite color?
Red.
Dolphins or whales?
Wales.
Favorite submission?
The crossface.
Let's go. PlayStation or Xbox?
Both.
Hey, I like that answer. Let's go. Geez. Favorite podcast?
The 3 Count podcast.
What? That's crazy. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Timmy Too Sweet.
Let's get it. And then last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person that comes on this show. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Yeah. A good F-bomb is all you need in this life.
At least one good one a day.
A good one good one. And the fun thing is I've been trying to get this video reviral again. Is that a word? I don't know. To get it viral again. But it's the history of the F word that you can find on YouTube. It's like the best 2 minutes and 39 seconds of of history. You know? Tell people all the time. It's
Check
like,
that
if you
out.
watch this video, you will learn so much about the F word.
I love it already.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link after this so you can check it out. But yeah, so those are all my questions. So the only thing I have for you is, Damien, let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
So you can find me either on YouTube, you could find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at the handle of the Damien Saint. You can find me at Rocket Pro Wrestling, Chicagoland Wrestling, um, Revolution Revolution Championship Wrestling. Sorry, ADHD is kicking in again a little bit. I started getting the word. I'm like, Revolution. Oh, I have Oreos over here. Oh, where am I? As I go off another tangent. Right now, well, those are the big ones I'm working. I mean, as well as Pinfall Wrestling Association. I don't want to leave them out since I started repping for them recently. Those are really the biggest places you can find me for shows lately.
Awesome. And there you guys have it. You guys have all of his links. But like every good part of a wrestling match, we got to take it home, because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering Ring. And like I said, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. And by now, you should be calling me your Sherpa. But like every good Sherpa, you got to have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. And you see him right next to me. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the angel of anarchy, Damien Saint. You guys know what to do. Tune in to the next episode and be there, or you just wait for this episode to end. You wait for that outro, and then you choose another episode to listen to. Peace. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there. Find us at the 3Count_pod. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3Count_pod. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com. Give us a subscribe. Turn the bell on. Turn the notifications. Leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.